the most horrific humanitarian catastrophe, a loss of life on a scale that's almost unimaginable, we finally see cause for hope. Hostages released, bombing stopped, aid beginning to flow into Gaza. And Ireland stands ready to do everything we can to help with the huge humanitarian effort which is now needed. There are people starving, and it is so important that we get them aid as a matter of urgency. So today I'm announcing an additional €6 million in funding for Gaza. This is funding that will be provided to a variety of multilateral organisations, including the World Health Organization, the World Food Programme and Unicef. So this is a practical step we in Ireland can take today to help feed starving children, to help a country in an area stricken by famine, and to help get humanitarian assistance to those who need it absolutely urgently. I also today think of all of the hostages that have been released. Cannot imagine what they have endured over the last period of time, cannot imagine the anguish and the fears and the worries that their families have lived with. And today their loved ones are reunited in the arms of their families, and we think of them today too. The government's position hasn't changed in relation to that. The occupied Palestinian territories are still illegally occupied. Obviously, if that reality changes, that's a different situation. But at the moment, the occupied Palestinian territories are still illegally occupied. But today, and I want to be clear, today isn't, from my perspective, a day about saying anything provocative. Today is a day about recognising that after the most unbelievable horrors, pain, loss of life, famine conditions, we now see cause for hope, and that is really, really, really important and really, really welcomed. Okay. Thanks everybody. Thank you so much. I think that's highly unlikely at this stage, because it's very clear that there's a long way to go in relation to the next steps on the peace plan. Ireland and our peacekeepers always stand ready to serve where there is peace, but at the moment what we're simply seeing is a cessation of hostilities. So I think there's a long way to go in being able to determine that. I think the most practical thing we can do now is assist in providing funding for humanitarian aid, but also assist logistically in any way that we can, because I think one of the big challenges is going to be to getting the aid in as quickly as possible and in as many ways as possible. I don't think so. I think there's a majority of European countries not at the Peace Summit today. There's a small number of European countries, a lot of Arab nations who've worked extraordinarily hard on this. I've worked very closely with the Arab nations, as has Ireland. Indeed, I had many meetings in the UN only recently. I watched President Mary Robinson play a really important role in engaging with Arab nations too. I want to acknowledge that today as well. So Ireland will continue to talk to everybody and anybody and help in any way that we can. We have long-standing relationships with many countries in the region. We're also a country that knows a lot about peace and about peace processes. Peace is never easy. There's no such thing as a perfect peace plan, but the opposite to peace is the utter devastation and horrors that we've seen over the last number of years. Well, Ireland has kept bilateral relations with Israel, so we took a decision to keep our embassy in Tel Aviv. It was the Israeli decision to close their embassy in Ireland, but even they've kept an ambassador to Ireland, so diplomatic relations continue to exist between the countries. But this is about step by step. I mean, what has happened, the horrors, the genocide, the famine in Gaza, none of that can be forgotten, none of that can be airbrushed. What has happened over the last number of years, the violation of international law, all of that is important and extremely significant. Today is a day of hope. It's a day about the hostages getting back to their loved ones. It's about food and medicine flowing to the people of Gaza. It's about peace talks taking place in Egypt, and Ireland will always want to constructively engage in those processes.